Everybody, it's Harry Box with the Technical Trader, techtrader.com. It's Tuesday, May the 7th. These are the charts for the day. Very difficult day on Wall Street. The indices gap lower and channel down all day. Only at the end did they do some late short covering rally, snapback type move. But a lot of stocks we follow still do well, and we get a lot of stocks that are trending and able to do day trades and swing trades. Look at AXSM, which has been a swing since back in January. It was trading 7 and change, and here it is today, reaching 20 for the first time. You can see that this stock, after flagging for a week, is now back on its way up towards, I think, 24. Up next, CATS, which is a swing from here in around the 12 and 3/4 range, now trading at 17 range. Looking pretty good, and today breaking out of that flag type pattern with an increase in volume and OBV. Looking for a quick test of 18, 18 and a quarter, and then up to 24.5 potentially. Carbon black, something I've been watching. This downtrend broke, it rallied and pulled back and tested a couple times, formed a base. On Thursday, on Friday, it exploded. Yesterday was kind of an inside day, but a positive one because it closed near the upper end of the range, and then today exploded for $1.18 or 7.5%. You can see that there's resistance here, but I think that if this stock is going to make it move, it may make a move up towards the 20 range short term. That's my target, and it looks like we're going to get a follow through. Cohu exploded today, moving 374, 24% on 2.2 million, the biggest volume since a year ago, well, about 8 months ago. And you can see that the basis, first of all, the declining top line was broken, the 50-day moving average is broken. Big breakaway gap on heavy volume, and close near the upper end of the range is usually a good sign it's going to move forward. My target's to 22, 25.5, and 28. Cray, major announcement today with AMD on a joint project. The stock popped, broke out of a base pattern. You can see the long base that's been built in for a couple of years now. It looks like it may try to make a run, and my target's going to be 35. First 33, and then 32.5, 35 range is my target short term. There and there. CBM, well, sell side has been around a long, long time. It's one of those stocks that is a penny stock for a minute, and this is a reverse split, by the way. So you can see the base that formed, the falling wedge, the break, explosive move, and now this coil or wedge broke out today with a pop and increasing volume. I think it's going to go. If it gets through the spike high, which was 750, we should see 8 3/4 to 9 on it. End phase, continuing to ramp up after the breakaway gap last week. It's just mojoing upward. Our short-term target is 15.5. My secondary target's up there at 20. Everbridge, one of my top picks for the year. This stock looks really good in here. Consolidated, pulled back and tested the bottom of the channel, and to the V bottom of the platform, and today broke out. I'm looking for 88 to 90 range. Global Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, the ETF, or should I say Bitcoin fund, after a massive drop, based out, broke out with a breakaway gap, pulled back a couple times, consolidated, and now it's breaking out again. My targets, 8 3/4 and 10. IMMR also appears to be breaking out of a base here, even if you draw this line like that. Today was a good day for it. I'm looking for a move to test the gap at around 12. If it fills that gap, there's a possibility at some point 13.5 may be your secondary target. Well, gold stocks came to the forefront. One of our old favorites, Kirkland, popped today, $1.90 or 6%. Mine was the best I've seen on Kirkland on an up day going back till February, and it might mean that it's about to break out and retest the highs around 36 and the intermediate target 42, 44. PRED broke out last week out of a wedge, popped and formed a little mini falling wedge, and then yesterday and today, moving very sharply from about 235 up to 325, 330. I think it's got momentum. I think we're going to test the high from December of 2017, which comes in about 387. If we do that, we might see $5. Solar Edge, and a major breakaway gap today with huge volume on our strong earnings report. Tested the double top from July, August, up around the 55, 58 zone. Today's very high was 54. So we have a little bit more room to go up towards 58. That's my near-term target. The secondary target is going to be up towards 65. SNDX, I really like to look at this chart. Left-hand extended V bottom, and then a right-handed extension, inverse head and shoulder type pattern. This run-up seems to be forming a new rising channel right there. But more importantly, today's action popped at 45 cents or 6% and broke it out of this base pattern. My near-term targets are 9 and 12. The ultra shorts, particularly the VIX ultra shorts, the TVIX, it's not an ultra short, it's actually a short-term VIX. Exploded on record volume of 70 million shares, never traded that before in its history, and that's a major breakaway move, which is not a good sign for the market. It's likely we see 33 37 and maybe 41, 42 zone. If this continues, any kind of follow through, perhaps this move here, but that big volume was similar to what we had here when it exploded that day and eventually moved up much higher. The targets at 33, as I said, 37 and 41 and a half, 42. And the same thing on UVXY, also broke out at 36.6 million with targets at 46, 50, and 54. If we do get a downside fall through in the market, I expect those to run. And I expect the VIX to get up into the 20s. VSLR, another solar stock that's coming to the forefront, exploded today for 70 cents or 11%. Traded 2.6 million. On an up day, I haven't seen that. We only had one bigger day on a down day, but on an up day, that's the biggest day we've ever seen. So for me, target 7.5 and 8.5, followed by around 10. Finally, ZYXI, one of our new swings, really looking good. It had a one-day pullback yesterday, held a gap and the prior highs, and then popped. I think we're going to 8.5, 9 on this one. And that's it for tonight, everybody. Have a great evening, and let's make some money tomorrow.